Well, we're enjoying a very sunny September day, but we know well enough that the winter will bring different challenges. So what we're showing today are some of the equipment that we have ready to meet those winter challenges. For example, the two icebreakers which we have, which if you think back to 2 years ago and the hard packed ice that we had in the M8 and the difficulty that we had removing that ice, you can see why we need equipment like this. Since then we've had very high winds, we've had extreme levels of rainfall, we've had volcanic ash clouds. So we've learned from each of those things. What we've done is massively improved our social networking so we can get messages out to people very quickly through Twitter and other means as well. Traffic Scotland produced particular information for freight drivers as well, which is extremely important. And also we've developed new materials and new equipment. Network Rail, for example, have a new winter train which cost £1 million, which is designed to clear snow on some of the lines that we had problems with before. So each event that we've had, we've learned from it. We put in place new procedures, new materials and new equipment to deal better with any forthcoming challenges that we have.
We're doing what we do every winter, which is taking a careful look at the weather as it evolves, and as soon as we get some indication that there is a risk of severe weather affecting Scotland, alerting our partners across the Scottish Government, making sure that they're as prepared as possible and actually helping to keep them briefed as the situation evolves. I think the key message is that there are lots and lots of sources of information around, particularly within the Scottish Government and the Met Office, actually that let people know what might be happening, and as we get closer to a given occasion actually to firm up on what the forecast might be. And I think it's important that they stay briefed and aware about what's going to happen, and actually both in terms of the forecast and also the advice from the police in Scotland about what the level of risk is associated with travel.
Our plans are to make early preparations and to give very, very clear notice and advice to the public of the threats that they may face as a result of serious or severe weather. From a police perspective, that would be particularly relevant to when we give advice that there will be extensive disruptions on roadways, or that we are advising not to use the roads at all, and we would ask the public to pay very close heed to that advice when it's given, because it's not something that we do lightly.
Motorists, I think, will expect the government to take responsibility to keep the roads as clear as much as possible, but I think it's also true that motorists can take some responsibility as well for themselves, making sure they have as much information as possible. There's an excellent leaflet produced by the Police and Transport Scotland which tells them the best way to drive in snowy or flooded conditions, or even when, like today, there's low winter sun. That can be really difficult for drivers. So take on as much information as you can, take on route specific information. If you know where you're going, look for the information that will tell you when that road was gritted and what condition it's in, and also the preparations of having things in the back of the vehicle, a shovel and so on, which many motorists did after that winter 2 years ago. So motorists themselves will want to take some responsibility, but the government also has that responsibility to keep the roads clear.